Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Nice for you guys to go ahead and join us today. We're going to make this really quick, but, we got several topics that we're going to be going over. In this day and age, it's a different day and age, and what I like to do is pick other people's brains to see, really what they think. It's different generations, and, today my special guest I have here is actually my sweet mother. Go on ahead and give it up for Regina for me, everybody in the crowd. All right. So, the best thing is you got to learn from other people's mistakes. The biggest thing, you don't want to make the same mistakes. You're going to be turning your wheels. You want to save time, and you want to be able to go up quickly in life. Learn from other people's mistakes. So, one big thing I always hear, is, who's the right one? A lot of people waste their time on, the people that are not the best fit for them, or they let relationships bring them down. They just get in, or they go from relationship to relationship, and they're not able to settle down and really find the right one, and it's a love and having a relationship is supposed to boost each other up, and unfortunately now we're in the day and age where it's just bringing us all down. So, my question for you is, what's probably 3 to 5 qualities a young man like myself should be looking for in his next, in his potential partner for life? What would you say?
So 3 to 5 qualities that a young man like yourself, and let's make some clarity. Let's be clear about this. We're not talking about any young man. We're talking about you.
Well, okay, because the reason why we're not gonna go that way, audience, is because she's just gonna say all types of stuff. So we'll go over me in a separate time here. All right.
Well, that's because a lot of people need when they're trying to find the right mate for an individual, you have to sometimes say, okay, is it for this specific one? So let's say this
let's go,
in general. Let's broaden it out.
Let's go wide. I think it's important to go wide and then narrow.
All right, 5 qualities.
Down. Yeah, overall.
One quality that I think, and then we'll get my handsome husband in here to say one. Yeah. One quality I think a person should have, that if you're looking for someone and you say, what is one quality that person should have? I think that person should have confidence.
Okay. That's
one thing. And confidence is, to me, it's not going to allow that person to have you to mistreat them, which you won't, but I'm just saying in general, that woman will not allow a man, or a man will not allow a woman to treat them any kind of way, because they have confidence to know, I'm good without you, but I'm better with you.
Oh, that's a really, okay. So,
but have confidence. You got to have confidence in yourself.
Right. Huh, that's an interesting perspective. So why is that? What's the downside of a woman not having confidence, and what's the downside of that in a relationship wise for the guy?
Low self-esteem. And if a woman has low self-esteem, then she will allow a man or anybody else to treat them any kind of way.
Got it. Okay. So really, it doesn't balance out, right? You gotta have that healthy balance. Is that it?
You do. You do. You don't want somebody who's so weak that they don't realize they have a mind of their own and be able to voice their own opinions. You want somebody that's strong enough to say, hey, I'm not going to overpower you, but I'm going to help you at the same time. I'm not going to do so much that I'm helping you that I'm hurting myself.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a good perspective. Okay, now let me ask you this before you hand it over, right? Kind of piggybacking off of that. That is a strong characteristic where I feel like you have and why you do so well. Now let me ask
shade.
You. No, it's not shade. It's a strong. You do very well with confidence. Very confident.
Very confident.
And I take that from you, and it's definitely, I can see how confidence is attractive to a male.
It is.
Now let me ask you this: what are some things that females, for all our female audience members, females should look for in a guy? These are things that you have to do for yourself. You have to go out there and look for these qualities and find it yourself. So, what is probably 1 or 2 main qualities that you look for when you're pursuing the one?
Well, when I'm pursuing somebody, and we're gonna get your dad in here to also put some answers, but what I think that young women should look for in a young man, again, it's going to be confidence. Now, let's get this clear: confidence does not equal cocky.
Okay.
Cockiness. There's a difference. Confidence is, you're comfortable in every scenario or every situation. Your confidence.
So let me. Okay. So backdoor question. Let's say an individual is not confident. What must they do in order to obtain that? What are some small, key, tactical things they could do?
Well, I think the first thing they can do is try to speak to somebody
Okay.
to say, listen, I'm having a struggle in this area. What can I do? And get some sort of conversation going that they can help them bring them out of the little shell. But you don't want to bring them out too much because you don't want to change their character now.
Okay.
Because remember, your confidence is part of your character. So someone who's not so out there outlandish doesn't mean they have confidence. It just means they show their confidence in a different way.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. If you guys are listening, that was what the young folks like to call sauce. Good, right? That was it right there. And a lot of people try to portray something that they're not, and they say that you can fake confidence. However, that is not lasting. That you can't sustain that. You're gonna come off ingenuine, which is gonna cause friction between the relationship. So I couldn't agree.
Yeah, because if somebody starts out with something that's fake, then when the realness hits, the person who they were pretending to be, that's going to be who that person wanted to be. It's just like the movie, the Clumps, I believe it was, with Eddie Murphy played that movie, and he was this jolly, oversized, being the professor, and he was nice like that. And his counterpart, his co-star Jada Pinkett, she loved him as he was, but he felt that he had to get this confidence to be buddy, whatever his name was, buddy, good guy, but he thought that's what Jada wanted. That's not what Jada wanted. Jada wanted what she saw. So sometimes our confidence is who we already are and not who somebody we're trying to become.
Dang, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's somebody who you already are, but you have to, that's why I said you first have to know who you are, and that's where your own confidence comes from. Confidence doesn't mean that I'm going to be somebody else. It means that I'm the best at who I am. And that is what is going to attract that person that's looking for you. Because everybody walks around with some form of confidence, but I'm not looking for your confidence or your confidence or your confidence, but hey, that confidence right there looks like something that I'm attracted to.
I like that overall, and that was really good. I'm gonna go ahead and say it again, sauce. Now, because that, like you mentioned, confidence is attractive, and by having that confidence is by you really knowing yourself, knowing where you're going. Clarity equals power, and you're not gonna whenever you're going through the ins and out of day to day. Let's say you go out there, you get rejected, and things happen. You're not gonna let that. You're gonna let that bounce off of you because you know exactly where you're going. You have a vision for where you're going. When you have vision, it equals clarity. Clarity equals power. Power equals confidence overall. So great answers. Okay, so smaller but funner questions. Let's say like bonuses, like other than the main thing, other than mainly confidence. What are some small things that guys could do to really be able to attract women, like small qualities that females like,
I think one of the small qualities that I like when I wasn't even looking for, a mate, I was single at the time. I wasn't looking for anybody. But one of the things that attracted me to your dad, Clovis, here, is that he was funny.
Oh, that's a good one, folks. Listen up.
He was funny. But here's the thing. He wasn't goofy funny. He was funny in the sense of he had tact with his funny. He had a confidence with his funny, and his funny wasn't belittling about somebody else.
Oh.
His funny was just a life funny. The way he chuckled, the way he made little humorous jokes. And when I say that, it wasn't belittling anybody. Some people think that funny means that you got to put somebody else down to bring yourself up. That's not what I'm talking about when I say he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. He's just a humorous guy. Some of the things that he says is just humorous. But I love the fact that he cares enough about people that his funny does not bring somebody down. Usually it builds somebody up.
Right. That's a key tactic.
Right.
What would you say is the difference between goofy funny and then regular funny? You mentioned that he wasn't goofy funny.
I think goofy funny to me is where you are trying to belittle somebody so that you can get a laugh out of somebody.
Gotcha. So that's what you.
It's at the expense of somebody else. I don't like that.
Right.
That part. That to me is goofy funny.
So would you rather someone make fun of themselves than make fun of other people, or would you?
No, I would rather somebody find a way to make fun and build somebody up.
Right.
A build-up type of funny, and not so much have to have themselves be the butt of the joke, because they still got to go home and be by themselves and wonder, why did I have to make a blank out of myself to get somebody to like and laugh with me?
Right, makes tons of sense overall. Okay, I like that one. What about some other small key things? What are some other things that
I like to see how men interact with their own family members.
Oh, so for a family person, are you?
Yeah, well, not necessarily a family member, but if your own family don't want to have nothing to do with you, then I might consider. I don't know if I want to have something to do with you.
Right. Okay, which makes sense because Dad here is he was very in tune with his family. He was actually I would say kind of like the rock of the family. He was like the glue. He really was able to glue everyone together. And it's pretty, of course the main goal when you're speaking with someone and you're trying to date them, you portray yourself, kind of, you visualize what it'll look like if you guys are having a family. And, we want to make sure we have that family person and the easy test trial to see if you're able to do well if I want them with their own family. Okay, what else? There's like other small things that I'm pretty sure a guy can do. Let's say
you tell me, what is it that you're looking for? If you're a guy or you're a single guy right now, what is something that you're looking for from a woman that you would do a second take and you're like, hey, let me take a look at this?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I would say overall, and this is in general, this is life advice overall.
In general. I
would say that if you're going to find someone, you got to find someone that has drive. And that the reason, and this kind of goes back to your confidence piece, is because there's going to be ups and downs. Just like there's in life, there's going to be ups and downs in relationships.
Right.
The people, or if you find out that if there's ups and downs, and you find out, you'll really find out if that relationship's going somewhere, right?
Yes.
And the reason why I say that is because if the person doesn't have drive, they're not motivated, and they have a weaker mentality, as soon as the adversity hits, they gonna dip. They gone.
They out of the relationship.
And that is gonna be a waste of time. So I want to see, and the easy way to test this is I want to see a person's drive. I want to see if they're working towards things. I want to see their mentality. It's very draining being around someone that doesn't think or doesn't align the right way, right? I'm really big on, having a strong mentality, not a victim mentality, and that's really what I'm attracted to, and that transfers from in life in general to actual relationship. Because when there's ups and downs, you got to be with someone that's gonna be like, listen, okay, you know what? Let's fix this.
So how do you guys now? Like when your dad and I were dating, everything was totally different.
Right.
We didn't have the social media, full game like we have it now. And so for us, we had to get a physical visual of the individual to see how they were and so forth. How do you guys now get a visual? I think you guys have it easier because you can go to somebody's social media page and almost tell the type of character they are by what they post.
So that is true. Here is the distinguishing factor, and here's why our generation has the highest divorce rate ever. Okay, if you can look that up. People on social media, some people are truthful. You can find that. There has been some successful things coming out of social media.
Right.
However, I'm going to use the word that's for the young folks because this is for them. A lot of individuals on social media front. They be front in, all right? They post a picture of, this car, nice, beautiful Mustang, and they're living in a studio apartment. But they just like to front it because they can portray something that they are. People don't use social media to portray their everyday life. They use it to portray their life that they want.
That's cute. And it's funny that you use the word front because back in our day when we used the word front, that meant we were truthful.
That is interesting.
And that amazing how that changes. Now your generation is using front as y'all being fake.
Yeah.
When we were doing it, we say put it on Front Street. That meant put it on the Truth Street.
Put it on the Front Street. I like that one. Yeah, and it's true when you're face to face with them. It's really harder to front. Humans are energetic creatures. Like we could read energy. We could kind of tell someone. Based on how their body language is, or when we're speaking to them, we can kind of feel it. Their words pierce us. So in person, that's why I feel like the divorce rate was a lot lower. You actually have that connection with an individual. Through social media, there's not really connection. There's just a connection with your eyes to where you see something. You're like, okay, all right, this lady looks kind of good. You know what? I like her. And we get fooled by thinking what really love and connection is. You can't have a connection unless you're really there in front with the person, I believe.
Because a lot of falseness is on some of these social medias because that picture that she looked real nice with that makeup on point is a real nice Instagram filter.
And yep, exactly. Yep, and filter is Photoshop. And then, you get together with them, you think everything's well, you create this image of her. And then
everything was Photoshop.
Yeah, Photoshop. And then you go on a date with them and they're just talking all types of nonsense. And it's not, you don't really have the connection. I'm pretty sure a couple of you guys at home here in the audience have gone on a date with someone, girl or guy, when you sit down with them, you're like, wow, you know what? You're so beautiful. You think this in your head. You're so beautiful, but you're just dumb as rocks. And if you're gonna be like, listen, I'm being honest.
You're like, just eat the salad and be quiet, baby. Just eat the salad and be quiet.
And if you're gonna be in an actual, the thing is, if you're gonna be in an actual relationship, you can sit there. Yes, it's fun to look at them. It's fun and dandy in the bedroom. If we're being honest with you, you're looking at them. But it's like, okay, what about, it's just that intimacy goes so far. Yes, that's fun for a little bit. You guys are having fun. But, I mean, are you guys going to be able to conversate on a daily basis?
So, again, back to your point, what are the qualities? And how do you find these qualities today? And how do you find the true qualities?
Right. Yeah, it's it's a little bit tougher nowadays. And it's kind of like how it is now. I mean, the only difference now is that people portray something, like, they're a little bit more closed off, I would say, from my experiences.
Yeah.
Because they look at social media, and social media is, like I mentioned, it's a front. It's kind of like a facade. To what real life is. So people are more closed off when they see something, they're less open for it. Right? And this is from talking to other people, it's just like when you go up to a girl, they're more open because they're like, okay, this doesn't really happen too much, maybe I'll give it a try, right? But then, nowadays it's like, I get tons of DMs every day from people around the world. Like, why do I even need to go ahead and give some time to talk to this bozo that's trying to talk to me during while I'm trying to get my Starbucks, right? Like, leave me alone, and it's, it's a little bit tougher overall, I would say.
I had somebody DM me today for you.
Really? Okay, there we go right there. All right, listen.
I did. Somebody DM'd me and she says, your son is hot because I posted your picture on my Facebook page. I said, my handsome single husband. And she said, and this is the mom talking.
Okay.
She said, your son is hot. My daughter, who's not even 19, is saying he's so hot. She wants to meet him. She says, maybe we can hook up. Then she said, nope, I thought about it. My daughter's way too young.
Yeah. It's okay. I get that a lot. It's all right. So I know a couple of audience members, you guys are thinking everything like, listen, all right. It's fine. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah. But don't come to conclusions. Sit down and have a coffee. You might not like me because I'm a Dolphins fan, and you never know, right? You don't want to just jump to conclusions yet. So yeah, that's a good one. Now I think it just comes down to just really putting yourself out there and not just coming to conclusion and letting social media paint a picture in your head that it's something that you want. I think it's people deciding what they want and not deciding based on what other people want.
I think what a lot of you all have to do who are now searching for somebody, I think you should take a tip and advice from some of us who are older generation. And what we did was, before we we would be friends with each other, but before we ended up being super serious, we would meet the family. And the family would tell all the secrets, and they would tell everything. And even if, let's say, for instance, if somebody walked in the house and you were acting different, your family, the mothers and dads and cousins, they would tell you, why you acting like that? Because he around, you acting like this now. So that would be key to, okay, this is not the way they always are.
That is.
I think maybe y'all should go back to doing that. But now people don't want nobody to see their family until they pregnant and ready to try and,
Yeah, they see that as kind of scary, and unfortunately, we're living a day and age where people just lack that commitment bone in their body. They don't want to really feel that commitment, and
people want to do what they do now. They don't want.
Yeah, they want to. They just lack commitment when it comes to things, right? Now, I don't want to go on a huge tangent, but when you show them to the family, it's like a whoa, like whoa, this is happening, like.
Right, because our generation, if you were to bring a woman in here now and say, hey, this is my friend, my girlfriend, and I'm ready to make some wedding plans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what's going through the guy's mind nowadays. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. It's alarm going off like, whoa, this is happening. Like, and it's like, whoa, this is happening really quick. But the thing is, back in the day, people got excited for that. Guys got excited. They're like, okay, I have to impress the family. I have to come through. I want to build a family. We live in a day and age where people lack commitment, and that's people want to go around. They want to do everything they have without a title. They don't want to settle down. They don't even want to commit to when it comes to hard work or being able to get somewhere. Right? They rather just act hard on the outside and be soft. They don't want to put in the work like our other generations did. They just want everything now. Everything.
Well, I think back to, like you said, what are the qualities? And I think what we have to do is we have to find out, again, like you said, what are some of these qualities? And I think the first step that people should do is find out what qualities you want, and then go look for that.
Right.
That's what you have to find out. So instead of saying, like you said, hey, what are some of the qualities we can speak? What are some of the qualities a woman wants? What are some of the qualities a man wants? because my qualities that I'm looking for may not be what somebody else is looking for. But what are some of the things that people should look for? Like you said, a broader range. I think back to that. I think, yes, look for confidence. I think look for stability. And stability could also be, even if I'm not where I want to be, I'm trying to get where I want to be, but I'm okay where I am.
Right.
I'm not uncomfortable where I am, but I want to get to where I want to be, where I can be better. So I can be stable in this situation, and I also can be stable in the situation I'm trying to get. Some people are not even comfortable where they are today, to the point where it drives them bananas.
Right.
They haven't learned how to be comfortable where they are. Because if you're comfortable where you are here, you won't have a problem building up to get where you want to be. That's just my philosophy. And, and then you have to look for, again, I can't stress family enough. Find out what the family has to say. Because if you got that big mama that's there, that grandmama, that nana, you bring that person in there, Nana gonna tell you right off the bat if she the one or not the one anyway.
Oh, yeah.
She or he, they gonna let you know, like your grandma. You bring somebody right now in here to your grandma Shirley, she gonna let them know, Zabo, no, that's not no. Isaiah, no. Or either she gonna say, Isaiah.
She will let them know that to their face. Not to their face, though.
Of course.
Oh, Lord. Woo.
Let me tell you, she's that generation that didn't bite their tongue. They never had no bite marks on their tongue because they never bit their tongue.
Wow. Y'all hear that?
That generation back there.
That's why it's important. Listen, you meet the family, you gotta have your best cologne on.
No, you come as you are, but don't come stank.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you gotta have your best cologne. You gotta come to impress. First impression's everything. So.
Well, you know what? I don't even know if me and your dad would say that first impressions are everything, because me and your dad you could come in here with a $500 or $5,000 suit on with a $2,000 cologne, $3,000 shoes, and the freshest haircut. And I would still not look at any of that, but I would look at your personality and how you communicate. Right.
Okay. So let's say on the contrary, you guys see, if there's a good side of things, a good first impression, like you mentioned, okay, that doesn't leave that strong of a taste. Let's say it was on the opposite side, bad.
Like came in like, dog.
Oh yeah, like he was gold teeth, like he was face tattoos, like pants sagging.
I still want to hear that conversation.
Right. Okay.
I still want to hear that conversation, because he may have gone through some things in his life or her life, because she could have the tattoos and all that stuff too, and her pants could be sagging too. And I still want to hear that conversation, because if I hear that conversation and I understand that they were somewhere, but now they're trying to get to somewhere else, then maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe we got that person at the right time, because they're at that moment where they want to change and do better.
But don't you think that if they wanted to change, they wanted to do better, and they saw you meeting you guys as like, a big deal, if they really valued it, don't they say you do what you value most, you go above and beyond? So
they'll try to do their best. But here's the thing. Him putting on a baggy suit or a baggy shirt or something may be his best.
Right. Okay.
He may not have that $5,000 suit, but he did the best he could with that $2 shirt.
Yeah, exactly. It is. So it's like,
right.
Like, as long as it's trying, right? Like,
as long as I can see it's real.
Yeah, the sagging pants.
And if I say, hey, sweetheart, can you pull your pants up? Because, we really like, we like that you wear underwear, but we really don't want to see them. Would you mind pulling your underwear up? I'm going to be testing him, because that's going to be a test.
Right, okay. So
I want to see what that response is going to be.
Right. Now, is this just your perspective or this grandma's perspective? Because like you mentioned, grandma don't buy the... Okay, because... This is my perspective. So grandma going to see him and be like, they're going to look him up and down. You got too much skin showing. Is she going to do that? Or...
Here's what that generates. Grandma's going to say, boy, if you pull your pants up coming through my front door like that...
And that's it. That's the imprint in their head. And then it's an uphill battle from then on out.
Right, but my generation, we're going to ask you. But grandma's generation, they're going to tell you.
Oh, Lord, how much?
My generation, we gonna ask you, sweetheart, please pull your pants up. And but my generation, we smart, because we're not only asking you, he won't know at the time you're about to have a test.
Right.
And I want to see what your response is going to be. If your response is going to be, man, no, dog, this me.
Right.
You ain't the one, boo. You ain't the one. If your response is going to be, oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. And he try to pull his pants up.
Impress you.
He try to do what, but that's just one part of the test. I'm still, and this is not just for the one who got the saggy pants. This is the one for the $5,000 suit, too. This is for him also. parents, what we do is we always have our little test that we do that the children don't even know we doing it. And it's based on little conversation. And then when you leave, we listen the whole time you're there. It's a whole test. When you leave, we gonna sit down and we gonna have a conversation. Me and your dad, we gonna be like, okay, like the jury. The jury is in recess right now. Let's see what this is. We gonna go and deliberate. We gonna have that conversation.
Right.
I mean, I had that happen when I met Poppy. Before we were serious.
Yeah, I do. You remember that story completely.
I got sat in front of the firing squad.
Oh, yeah, I was 7. Yeah, I bet you. It was the firing squad? The grandma, the mom, and the auntie?
That was them. I got sat down.
Lord, not the firing squad.
I got set up and I didn't even know I was being set up. We were going out on our first date. This was our real first date.
Oh, Lord. Where was it for?
And he set me up. Because what he said was my husband, well, he was my friend at the time, wasn't even my boyfriend. He said, I want to take you out to dinner.
Does he know that?
And I said, okay. And he said, but we got to stop by my house first. I got to pick up something.
Oh, that's okay. So you had to get the approval, But
he didn't tell me that. He didn't let me know because that's part of the test.
Yeah.
You can't tell them what you do.
You gotta catch you when you real. You can't prepare for it. You can't prepare. You on the spot. So what's ever gonna pop up is what's you.
He did. And so we went to his house and he said, you want to come in? And I said, okay. So actually, my sister went with me.
Really? Okay.
And we sat down, and when he opened up the front door, they had the 3 dining room chairs lined up in the living room.
3 dining room chairs.
In the living room.
Dining room. Oh, that's how you know it's something. They was waiting. You walked in.
You got your meeting?
Oh, no.
You're good.
Yeah,
okay, because he's very busy.
Yeah.
He's honoring me by giving me this time. So listen.
Yeah.
So they had the 3 chairs lined up in the living room, and one was sitting in each one. The mama was in the middle, and her 2 sisters were on each side of her.
Lord,
and they asked me to have a seat on the sofa, which was directly in front of them.
No.
And I was in the firing squad. And what they did was they shot at me every question that they had.
Lord, what was some tough questions they had for you?
Do you have children?
Oh, Wait, was that first quarter? At least second? Was it? Please tell me it was at least third quarter.
I think that was in the first season.
The first quarter? Oh, Lord, have mercy.
The first quarter.
They had them prepared. Don't tell me they had a little notepad.
No. These were off the head, off the cuff, as we call it. There was no paper on there. This was off the cuff. Lord. But guess what? Guess where Clovis was when they were asking all these questions? Not sitting beside me on that long sofa by myself.
Oh, no, he was in the judge corner.
No, he was behind the 3 chairs on the floor.
You got to listen. You got it. That's when you really put out there. You said you on your own. All right. He wanted to see if you can handle your own, and
he was not moving. He was not going to go over there and sit next to me. He was behind him on the floor, and he was peeking out.
You had to pass a test on your own. That was a test.
He said he knew what I was up against. But here's the thing. And even though my sister sat there on the side, my sister, because of the way our family is, we hold everybody accountable.
Right.
Regardless whether you're blood or not. You're all held accountable. So my sister was sitting there. So as mommy and aunties were asking these questions to me, you asked what were some of the tough questions. One of the questions that mommy asked was, mommy says, and this was toward like third quarter, toward the end, mommy says, do you love him?
Whoa! Hold on.
That's like third quarter.
What? Like, that's like the first date here. The first date.
This was the first. We hadn't even gone on the date yet. We were on our way.
So, and this is like not even the one-on-one date. This is with the sister here, and
my sister was there, and see, it was our first date. So my sister was with me,
and y'all not even talking about. So that came out of. So this was okay. Let me hear how you.
And the thing is, we were talking on the phone. We hadn't gone out together. We were always been talking on the phone, but I did not realize the impact of the question until she asked it. And when she asked it, do you love him? I thought about it and I said, you know what? I do. And at that point is when I realized the conversations that we had been having, the time spent on the phone, the information knowing that I like what he likes and he likes what I like. And I like the way he treats me, when we're talking on the phone. Because remember, we had not gone out yet. And all of that made me realize, yes, I do love him. I do love him. I love the conversations that we're having. And that to Mommy Nim was surprising. And I think it was because of how I answered all the questions. And even going back to my sister, Bon, when Mommy said that, do you love him? Even Bon, again, accountability, turned to me and said, well, that's the question I want to know. Do you?
Oh.
You know, so she was putting me out there also. But at that moment is when I realized that all these phone conversations that we've been having has now got me to this place where, yes, I do love this man, not only for him as an individual, but his mind, his words, the way he treats me, and all of that. And it was from that firing squad day that we had that Mommy and the two aunties, after we left, we gave them all hugs and everything. And my husband then, well, I keep saying my husband, he was my friend then, I guess, at the time. He told me the next day, he says, my mom and my aunt love you.
Wow, that's big right there.
He said they love
you. Thumbs up.
And that's what they were doing. They were testing me. And she loved me even with the two kids. That's
tougher right there too.
Because when they said, do you have kids? And I said, I have two kids. I said, yes, I have kids. And I said, I have two kids. All three of them almost fell out the chair. Oh,
Yep. So if you're following it at home, guys, it's pretty much like you're on a job interview and they want a degree and they're looking for someone with a degree. And you don't got the degree, so you got to fight hard to really be able to prove them why you're the one they should bring on the team here. Because she had two of the kids.
Two kids. And then his culture was like, well, his family, they were like, no, this is not what you do. And understand, he had no children. He doesn't have any children. So for him to date someone who has two children, it was different for them. But even with that, because I passed the test, they're willing to accept everything that I came with.
Right.
But not only that, what I had to do was I had to maintain the way I was at that meeting throughout the rest of our lives with them. I could not alter or change who I was because that would have altered or changed who they thought of me as.
Right.
So I had to maintain who I was. And that's why you have to go in and talk to people and be your true you. Because they still were watching me till the day all three of them passed away. They were still watching me.
Yep.
And I maintained the same way. Did I not, sweetie? The same way. And it's easy to be you than to be fake. And then you wonder, okay, now how was I last week or how was I this week? Because they're going to remind you. They're going to let you know. But you might have to go up against some of us old school that you bring them in and we going to talk to them. We going to have our ways of doing it.
Have mercy.
You going to have our way of doing it.
So I know the ladies firing squad. So as far as the guy, does a guy get a firing squad too though? Or
actually, Poppy, you didn't get a firing squad. But I think but listen, he didn't get a firing squad, but guess what? He is a firing squad because you bring some girl in here. Remember when we met your friend when we went to Florida?
Oh, Lord.
We won't mention any names. We're not going to mention any names. But when we met your friend in Florida, he had a lot to say when we got back together. Not negative. He was like, okay, now who is she and what is she doing and what are her goals and what are her ambitions and what is she, and that was his thing. He was like, okay, I don't know. Did she have, he was basically like you were saying, does she have any drive? Is she this? Is she? And I was like, just leave them alone. They'll be okay. So he is the firing squad, but he's what they call that silent sniper.
Right. You're silent about it. You'd be happy to, yeah. You low-key write it down on the note.
Yes, he is.
Write that down right there. Yeah, and I think more so for it because I mean, just kind of looking back at it, the girls get the firing squad, it makes sense. I feel like the guys more so if it's they could get the dad, which is will sit them down and is like, yeah, all right, you mess with my daughter, and it's like an indirect firing squad kind of nature, and it's like a all right. Yeah, it's not like a direct conversation, but it's just like it's like an energy, you feel it. And I think for the guy, you really have to work to get on the dad's side, and you have to show them like why they should trust you.
Yeah,
they trust you, then they'll trust into the daughter. So that was a good story. That was a really good story overall. That was a very, very enticing. A lot of like nuggets dropped there, which is awesome. And okay, last question for you, and then we'll end off this interview. Last question. So you mentioned something that was very interesting. You said, where do you find them? Nowadays, if you want to find a date, you want to go out with somebody, you want to, you want looking for a relationship, you go on Tinder. You pick up your phone, you go on this app called Tinder, you like them, you swipe, and you DM them just that easily, right?
Oh, boy.
For your generation, what was your guys' Tinder? Like, where, if you guys...
Church.
Okay. That's I was going for. Okay.
Church.
So what would that look like? What kind of like explain that? It's more juice to squeeze there.
Well, when we were dating, okay, you go to church and you had the youth programs and all that and all. Here's a good thing about going to church and finding somebody for your children. You know the parents. Well, back then, and now things have changed. But back then everybody knew everybody, and everybody. Huh? What are you saying, sweetie?
I said now they just go to church. Guys go to church just to pick up a nice girl.
Oh, now guys just go to church to pick up a nice girl. He's saying.
Turn them around.
But back then, what we did. Back then, it was the days that people knew each other. The families knew each other. The kids knew the parents knew the kids. And so, hooking up your child with somebody else at the church was something, that people did. And my husband, in our case, it wasn't that. I mean, we went to church and it just circumstance that we met each other at church. But I think it's, I don't know, even like Clovis said nowadays, guys are going to church just to find them a good woman and try and make them a bad woman. They're not going to church really for the good reason. Right, for the right reason. So I think what a lot of people need to do now is be careful of those coming in. And again, if you see a guy and they come into church and you start talking to them and you start dating them, you got to have your confidence about yourself, and you have to have confidence to know you cannot allow anyone to take you out of where you are and what your goals and ambitions are. And I think a lot of women lose themselves because they allow a man to come in and have them think that without this man in their life that everything is going to fail. No, everything's not going to fail. I think everything excels when two people get together and go somewhere, not just based on one man saying you ain't going to be nothing without me. Boy, bye. No, that's what I think. So for in general, where can you find them now? I don't know about these social media things because you have a picture, and I've seen the 90-Day Fiance shows and stuff where you think you dating somebody and her name is Charlene, but when you meet him, his name Charlie.
Oh, Lord.
No.
Oh, Lord.
No, so I don't know about all of that. So I think it's harder and tougher for this generation in today's time to find somebody. I don't know how we could do that. Sometimes just maybe everybody just go to the grocery store and see how somebody's shopping and pushing a shopping cart and say, hey, how you doing? And see how they dressing and pushing a shopping cart, how they handle a situation when they had to register, who's paying what, and I think I would rather say, but let's go to the Isaiah. I keep saying my nickname for you. Isaiah, let's go to the grocery store and let's walk around and buy some groceries and see who's shopping today.
Yeah, I think that's the I think that's the beauty of it is that love doesn't come at you when you expect it.
Exactly.
It just comes like, kind of like what you mentioned. It's like, wait a minute, do I love him? Wait, I think I do. Hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, and it just came at you like unexpectedly. Yeah. Right? Like it came like and I think that's the best part about it is that life throws things at you when you least expect it. The thing is that you have to be able to put yourself in a position to, right? And I think we live in a day and age where people are kind of scared. They rather, it's easy to sit behind your computer and shoot over a text message or shoot over a direct message to where, you're like, hey, but it's we live in a generation that it's easy on the computer and we think, okay, we got it down on the computer, and they don't have the practice to be able to get up there and walk up to a girl even walk up to a guy, vice versa, and go, hey, like, what's up? Because they're scared of rejection, right? I think that we live in a generation that's easy on the computer. They do it on the computer, and they don't have the need to go out there and do it in person because they don't have to, right? Back in the day, people had to get rejected. They had to walk up there all awkward, like, hey, like, because that was the only way anything was going to happen. Nowadays, you don't need to do that. However, you're getting a false result out of it. So I think we just got to get more comfortable with approaching people and us. But
when you approach people, you have to approach them with who you really are.
Absolutely, yeah.
And not try to be a character that you think they want to see. Just be yourself. And then if they reject you and say, get away from me, goofball, and I don't like you, then that's just not the one for you. But it doesn't mean you're not the one for somebody else. You may be the one for her friend. But it doesn't mean, but I don't want people to go out here and get their confidence down because some women that they think are the prettiest women are not paying them no attention. Right. I look at it this way. It's God's way of protecting you from that one that's not for you anyway.
Absolutely. Yep. That's probably the best advice. And if you're looking at it like that, like just like with sales, you know, if you try to sell someone and they didn't want it, that's just not your sale.
It's
you
not
don't want
the one. You don't know what that problem could come about. Just like when Clovis and I with the, you know, tenants and people that we get when we can't get a certain one, we're like, okay, God just spared us from something that's probably a lot worse.
They probably want to pay their bills in the first place. You never know, you know. So it's a
So look for that right one, then, you know. But be yourself. That I can't stress that enough. Be who you are, and don't try and be somebody different, because that's what's going to help individuals to get to where they need to be with relationships that they want.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. So thank you guys for going ahead and joining me today on this call. It was a phenomenal job. Let's go ahead and give them one more round of applause coming around here and say, yeah. And, you know, that's just what it's all about. You know, go ahead and tune in. We're going to be dropping lots of little nuggets for you guys, and it's just fun to get different perspectives overall. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for coming.